Hey everybody, it's TorontoUnicorn
R,
and we are here to do a first ever reaction video. This is my #1 video. It's like at 1.5 million views and counting. It went viral last summer during when all the lockdowns were easing and people were deciding they wanted to be swingers after spending 10 months in lockdown with their significant others. So this is when my channel kind of took off. And so this video is a bit embarrassing for me because I never intended for it to be seen publicly. It was a video diary that I made after kind of a significant night when I kind of like went and got myself a threesome at a sex club, and I just wanted it documented and I didn't know how. And so I opened like my YouTube account, hit record for a live video, had no viewers, and saved it. And I just thought that'll be where the video is. And I put things on there that I didn't intend the public to see. I talk about my period. I talk with my mouth full. I say really embarrassing things about my self-confidence. So it's really not, it was never intended for the public consumption. And I think maybe that's why people like the authenticity of it. But this is a cringeworthy video, I'm not gonna lie. So come with us. We're gonna get R's reaction as well. All right, here we go.
All right, it is May 18th, 2019, and I am just today deciding to do my vlog on my recent video or my recent threesome experience at Oasis in Toronto, and so I want to document it because it was pretty memorable. So I went to the club. This was a week ago, and I kind of don't know why, but I kind of was a bit shy and like not open all night. Like I was around a whole bunch of people, but wouldn't make eye contact with them. Like I would kind of cling to not cling, but like only make friends with the people who are.
It's intimidating sometimes to be around all these like, couples in a sexual environment.
There was something that was kind of holding me back, and I was alone this night. And my second or third time at Oasis, so I knew what to do. I brought my flip flops. I had a little like a clippy thing for my towel that I thought I was so genius about. So
my favorite invention ever.
And anyways, I felt good, and I went that night, and I went to the pool, and I went out smoking, and I spoke to people, and I made friends, and I talked to people. There was another unicorn.
This is when I met
I felt almost clinging to me a little bit too much,
and she was clingy.
Oh, Al. No, but listen. I was like, because I was on a mission.
Everybody is on their own path. I just was aware that I could easily use that as a reason not to find a couple. And so, anyways,
same by that.
It's very interesting because I didn't go into that club with the mindset of like a sexual problemness.
What is sexual problems?
And I wanted to be a girl again. And so anyways, the night went on. It was around literally 2 a.m. when I realized
that's like last call for dick.
Now or never.
That's like after last call for alcohol.
But at a sex club, that's last call for dick. Like,
oh my God.
Couples that I felt like I could have a threesome with. I felt that if I didn't have a threesome, I was basically admitting to myself I wasn't ready for this. And there was something about that just didn't sit right with me. And so I, at one point,
in the background.
I went upstairs and I was walking around the different floors where all the sex happens, and I noticed the couple. This is the couple I ended up sleeping with, in the back of the red orgy room, and they were both facing me, which is really odd, to be honest. Like if people go into that room, they usually face each other to have sex, but they were sitting beside each other, and like he was fingering her, and she was really enjoying it, and like she was playing with his cock, and like he was really enjoying it. And there were people watching, but not very many because it was 2 a.m. at this point.
Everyone's asleep.
And
I was just like
so
the creepy
it was clear that I was alone, and it was clear that I was watching them. And so I just remember thinking how hard it was to make eye contact for me. And I'm a very extroverted, confident, overly confident alpha person.
This part, let me pause for a fucking moment. Do you know how many goddamn comments I got on this video saying, you're not an alpha? Do you want me to take it back and fucking show it? I don't need anybody coming at me trying to say that they watched one video of mine and they're telling me that I'm wrong. I have a psychology degree. I have self-awareness. And frankly, I've got that alpha fucking nature to look you straight in the eye and say, motherfucker, get off my channel. I am an alpha. I don't need to defend it. I'm sick of the comments.
I vouch for that.
Yeah, fuck off, motherfucker. All right, let's go.
Really odd feelings.
So I don't care about anymore. I
do not know how to get what I want in a situation like that requires sort of bravery. So I stood there in my towel and I decided to kind of flirt a little bit more. So I started to stare at them, and then like
With your bedroom eye.
he would
I was
kind of
so
make eye
nervous,
contact,
so I was
and
like-
I would kind of look away and
like,
then look back
like,
at him,
not
and
great.
do with the girl too. And at this point, I had enough confidence that they were interested because of the eye contact, and then he had pointed to me kind of at one point.
You.
So I
It wasn't
went
that-
to
it
the
wasn't that
washroom, and
I had to
remember
pursue
I
him, no,
peed
they
one
didn't-
last time. And I remember sitting there thinking, I could literally walk away, or I could go very far outside my comfort zone and get a threesome that I came here for. And so I like
Fuck,
looked
you
at
had to
myself
figure
and
it
I
out.
looked at freshly pedicured, freshly manicured, waxed legs, Brazilian vagina, completely middle of the cycle,
went
like
middle of the
happy,
cycle.
perfect weekend for a threesome. So I knew that if I didn't do it, if I didn't have that threesome, I think that I was almost shying away from something that I had been holding myself back from for so long. And so anyways, it's a lot of heaviness, but in the moment it felt, it was very fast. It was like 30 seconds.
I just want to pause for a moment
Yeah.
and
Reflective.
acknowledge the fact that that day was that significant, because not only did I have that threesome, the video I made about the threesome gave me a business, gave me a brand, and I knew it. There was something about that day that I was like, am I ready for this or am I not? And it was bigger than the one night. And I knew it was bigger than the one night. I thought it just meant, am I going to be a swinger or not? But it turned out, is this like a whole life that you want? And the answer was yes, right? And so I'm glad that middle of the cycle, I decided to go for it, okay?
Good for you.
All right, let's keep going.
Moment thinking, I'm here for a threesome. Here's my threesome in front of me. All I have to do is go get it. I just don't like pursuing. I don't like pursuing, and I don't.
That's why people are like, you're not an alpha. I'm like,
I
I'm a
don't lie, but I
motherfucking
just don't
lady.
like it. And so to have to be the pursuer, to go.
Who
and
says
get the
motherfucker a
threesome.
lot?
And just as a
Talks
side
like a
note,
truck
when I was
driver.
in the pool, and I was kind of making friends with whoever was
You've
swimming
been watching
beside
bad
me.
TV. haven't you?
I
No,
talked
this
to a
is who I
woman
am.
who used to be a former unicorn, and then she matched up in the lifestyle. So yes, they still swing, but she's no longer a unicorn. And so I kind of, took the opportunity to kind of like rack her brain, like, what does it take to be successful in this? What is there any tips? And she said confidence, or I think she said something about just having confidence, and then being the pursuer. And I remember having this conversation earlier in the night with her, thinking, maybe I'm gonna have to be a pursuer.
There you
And like, I'm
go.
just in order to thrive in this role, in this lifestyle, I think I
It's not
want
hard.
to maximize.
It
my
is
time.
hard.
You.
That
Rejection.
means I can't sit back and play the girl and have the guy come and chase me and kiss me. If I have to strap myself into these places and basically bring
You're so
that natural
vulnerable.
confidence and
This
that
is the
natural
part
sex appeal
that I get.
that I embody, and to actually
People are like,
feel
what?
like I
What
can
sex appeal?
get
I'm like, you wait.
out in a space
Give me a
where
year or two.
Just watch the rest of the
considered
videos on
manipulating
this
people
Well, it
channel.
didn't
like
exist yet.
anything. I could
I just knew
actually-
who I was.
I could use
I'd
my eyes.
proved
I
it.
could have this raw attraction with people in these places and fulfill it in those nights, and then have that be and then do it again. That's the story. By the way, I'm on edibles. Apparently, I'm more high than I thought. So anyways, I did in the back of my mind know I had to be the pursuer. And so I went back to my standing post. I was looking at them. They were still facing me, which I felt like was an invitation still. And so there was a guy who was in front of them fucking another girl, and he noticed that I was just standing there, and so he kind of like waved me in. I made a point of being like, no, like a couple behind you. And he's like, so like, come on in. And I was like, oh, okay. And so
It was so hard.
I don't even remember any inner talk. I don't remember anything in my mind. No anxiety. At this point, when I made the decision to do it, I just went it with emptiness. I just did it. And so I basically took the clip off my towel. I put my drink on the riser thing.
I remember
And
it.
I-
Seriously.
I don't know. I think I fixed my hair. I don't remember. And I dropped my towel for the first time all night. I dropped my towel out of the naked pool. And I crawled into this room and went straight up to this couple. And I was on all fours where I was like kind of crawling
Naked.
towards them. And then I basically sat on my knees And I looked at them both and I immediately said to the girl, I said, do you want to play? And I made eye contact with both her and the guy though. So I literally was like, so I curl up and I literally say, do you want to play? And
So
then,
I'm gonna
like,
tell you right now,
during
you're
the
gonna hear
process,
this same
they're
version
working
like
with
6 more
her.
times because I'm
She
high
immediately
and I fucked it up and I keep going back and fixing it and I wish I could edit this out.
Oh, no, well, it's too late.
You'll be annoyed,
So,
but
I don't,
fair
obviously, I don't
warning.
have a chat
Thanks.
earlier in the night, which is one thing I will say about threesomes. Have the chat earlier in the night if you can about like, are you bi? A,
Yeah.
first of all.
Whoops.
There's-
Are you not gonna eat this? Nope.
Well, that's good advice for me. I'm not really, much of a couples.
There you go. I'm
Oh,
going to get my
this
bubble
is-
tea. And then I start talking with my mouth full.
So yeah, so
Oh, yes.
have the question, like, where can I come?
Clearly, you had no intention of showing
Need to be
this.
asked. And like,
And then I start talking while I'm chewing. It's so terrible. It's so terrible. Like I might as well just watch in the background.
and boundaries. So for example, I have boundaries. I have 4 of them that I set.
What are your 4 boundaries?
I forget the
There's
last
some
two.
that I don't say that I don't think I should have to say. Like, anyway, the ones that I say are don't pull my hair. That was when I had hair extensions, and I just got my hair extensions out yesterday.
Looks lovely,
Getting
darling.
adjusted.
These are my real hair now.
I can pull it.
They can pull my hair now, and so now I need to figure out: do I want them to pull my hair?
Oh, you
I
do.
don't like my hair pulled
Do
in
you,
the
Smith?
sense of
This is before I had a
I don't
lot of
like being
experience.
dominated, and I find
Listen,
that to be very dominating.
Listen, I say the words, I don't want to be dominated. After this video was recorded, I suddenly got exposed to submission and I started to explore submission with B and stuff. So this video is before I've had a majority
You were
of
such
my
a
experiences.
newbie.
I was a newbie. This is as virgin as they
It's
get.
so cute to see you because
Yeah.
I didn't know you then, right?
It's true.
So
This is my beginning.
this
my
is
humble
your beginning, and I remember mine. Like it was,
Mhm.
it was the same kind of thing. Is have that confidence and drop your towel and just go for it. Yeah, totally.
It's true.
All right, let's keep going.
Thing. But to be honest, there's something I can find sexual about it that isn't so threatening to that not that fear, but like I don't let men dominate me. I just don't. I'm an alpha.
Again, I'm not defending it a second time.
I've had guys get better ones on me. I've had guys outsmart me, unfortunately,
Don't hurt
and not many of them, but some of them, and it doesn't feel good. And so for now, like I just, anyways, I'm distracting. So let's go back to it.
I'm so see what I mean?
call
Like,
out to them,
same
and then
story,
we
going back to
look
the
at her
spot.
and I say, do you want to play? And then she looks at her husband and says that to him. And then I don't know this part. I don't remember. And all of a sudden, I just remember knowing it was accepted. And then I immediately started to eat this girl's pussy. It was honestly this
Second girl
so when I
pussy
was
ever
dating,
eaten.
watching
You're
them
like,
have
yes.
sex or fool around. The appeal for them as a threesome
Slimy
because I
tacos.
saw his pussy and I saw his
Fish
tacos.
tacos?
Oh,
No,
beautiful.
slimy tacos.
Slimy fish.
It
See,
matters.
see, talking mouthful.
Anyway. So I immediately start eating her out, and let me tell you, fucking loving it. I don't know if that makes me bisexual. All
I have no
know
idea.
is I'm good at it. I enjoy it, and it didn't feel weird doing something to a girl. Anyways, touching her, I believe, she started to like really make noise and like. First of all, I realized after the threesome she wasn't bi. I didn't know that at the beginning, so I just assumed it was okay if I could eat her pussy.
You
No,
didn't ask
there
consent.
wasn't. No, this is the thing. We didn't know.
So
Oh,
I'm gonna have to edit
live
this.
and learn,
So
eh?
anyways,
Which you never did.
No, I don't know how to edit a live stream.
so after
Live and
I went up to the girl and I said, do you want to play? And she said to her husband or something to me, okay, this is not going well.
That's what I mean. This video was never
It was
ready
never-
for.
I'm going to start over though.
And that's great.
And some people watched it to the end. Like,
It's very cute.
Okay, I'm going to start top to bottom again.
don't
No.
worry. I know that's everybody's reaction too. And it's
Right
Is this where all the views cut off the first time?
no. I just do that phase that here.
Sitting
Listen.
on my knees, naked in front of them.
Oh,
and
you
I
said the
look at
good word.
couple, and I look at the girl and I say, do you want to play? And I said it like, do you want to play? And then she immediately said it's up to him and then pointed to her partner. And so I looked at him and I said so fucking calmly and so convincingly, can I eat her pussy? And literally, I'm sure he said yes. I don't remember the words coming out of his mouth, but I remember knowing it was okay. And then I immediately went down on her, and like I loved it. I loved eating her out. She had a beautiful pussy. I loved fingering her. They said they kept telling me like 3 fingers, and like so I haven't. One thing I have noticed with some of these women is that they need more fingers than I do. Because I haven't had
Overshare.
But I'm like a 2 finger max girl. Anyways, so 3 fingers. At the whole point of the night, I had 4 fingers in her, and I literally was using this one hand to get it out while I had her flick in my mouth with suction and flicking in my tongue while it was infection. I felt like I was like pretty good at this. So anyways, in that encounter, so it's my and then after I finished
talking
eating her out pretty aggressively, I kind of look up and I like grab his cock with my hands. I look at the girl in the eyes and I said, "Can I put his cock in my mouth?" And she enthusiastically said, "Yeah." And so I put his cock in my mouth. I gave him head. I think at one point I hit my teeth and like I just didn't say anything. And then I gave him head. And then, anyways, that's where the night kind of gets fuzzy. But like we did a lot of things. So then they fingered me, and then we gave him a blowjob while she had his dick in his mouth. I had his balls in my mouth, and like I was constantly making out with the girl, and then also making out with the guy, not as much, and then just fucking loving it, like just loving this experience. Anyways, they were a little bit rougher though. Yeah. So like he would finger fuck me so hard that like I literally was damaged for days in the sense of couldn't have sex because I felt so bruised. I was bruised on both sides of my vagina, on the inner tissue, not in my vagina, on the outside because of finger. So when he's fingering me and he's constantly smashing this against that skin, I got 2 major bruises. I ended up having this weird like stuff come out of me the next day, and it was just like a weird, anyways. It's like pretty stuff.
Overshare.
But it was just, anyways. I went side note after the threesome and went to go pee.
Damn it! I didn't understand.
It stunk so bad that I literally held every bit of urine left in me for the next night.
Because he damaged me. He was like,
oh my god, like it was wow.
It was not good. Like pee touched it. So anyway, that was how raw.
So I can ask you something.
So he's been.
So your first time, you know, clearly it was a little too much for you.
This isn't my first time. This is my second threesome.
Sorry, the second threesome, but it was a little too much for you. What was happening?
Yeah.
Were you able to eventually learn how to articulate? Like that's not what I want.
Not during this experience.
No, this was.
It took me learning by not being able to basically walk without pain for 3 days that I should say something next time.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think everybody should.
Well, that was my point.
It's a good point.
Me and then me and the girl sit together. So we kind of sit in the bench and we open our legs together while he's standing in front of us and fingering us both. And then that was pretty hot. So in the moment I kept thinking while he's doing a lot of work, because after I realized she's not bisexual because she never went down on me and she never fingered me. She kissed me a lot and she kissed my boobs and she let me do everything to her. But she didn't do anything to me. And I'm pretty sure she's just not bisexual. She's bicurious.
That would be
so anyways, that was fine. I think that's why the husband or boyfriend, partner, whatever, had to do a lot of the work. But then I asked if they liked ass play. And so the guy immediately picked up and he was like, "Oh, do you like ass play? Do you like a finger in your ass?" And I was like, "I love fingers in my ass." So anyway, they actually got me to get on all fours, and then she's like, "Can I watch? Can I watch?" I was like, "Okay." She's like, "It's so hot." And so they were both behind me, and he's fingering my ass and my pussy at the same time. It's fucking incredible. I'm literally on all fours. It like making sounds. Like I'm so feeling this right now. And I just remember feeling like, I don't know. It was still a little hard. Like he was fingering me too hard. So I could never orgasm like that. But it literally was the kind of experience I was hoping for. And then when it was time for him to come, I told her, I'm like, "Oh, sorry, I don't do come."
I walked away.
That's you to watch or something. And so anyway, she looked hot though. She sat there with her hands up and she would like ask for it and like put her tongue out and stuff. And then he at one point held her eye. What? As if he was going to come in her eye. And this is the kind of guy he was though. like he liked to have sex that way. He grabbed, I think you choked her at one point, like not me, he didn't do anything to me except for finger fucking too hard. And she kept calling him daddy. Like she's like, do you do a good job?
I didn't know
Daddy?"
about
Like,
daddy
that's
stuff
kid
before by
way,
this point.
sexy, right? So they had a different dynamic than something I would have wanted for myself. But
Yeah.
anyways, it was kind of fun to be in part of as a guest. And yeah, so anyways, it was over. He came on her face. It was hot. And then I crawled out, and we all exchanged names one more time. And all I remember is her name is Ash. And then I don't remember his name, but he was Prince Harry. And I crawled out. And
Mr.
then
Harry.
that was pretty
Prince
much
Harry.
the night.
Prince
And
Harry.
I felt just as a wrap up to that experience was important because it proved to myself that I am ready. I am not going to not be ready for something because I am holding myself back anymore. And I love the strength that I had in that washroom. I love the strength. It just felt like a reliable source of strength to pull within myself and say to myself, you're ready for a threesome. Here's your threesome. Do you want it or not?
Yeah.
You're making more than just a one night decision. You're making a decision about this lifestyle or whether or not you're ready for this or whatever. And so I proved that I was ready. I proved that I could do it. I also proved that I could pursue, which is very interesting. And the truth is, I would be a great pursuer. I don't care what people think of me, really. I don't. And so I don't really get that offended if somebody is like not interested. I would just be like, oh, I wonder what's wrong with them, you know? So I think I'd be a great pursuer. And it's really interesting because it makes me bring that part of myself.
This is the part that I get such shade about.
Into my feminine energy. And I was told not to bring that. But I like feminine energy, and right now I like a guy who makes me feel desired and seduced and like
All do.
and like taken. I don't like to take, and I also don't like rejection. I've learned that I don't like in-person sexual rejection, only from like a long-term partner.
I even mentioned this to the guy I was with last night.
I don't like to not get.
I really don't like sexual rejection in the moment with a boyfriend.
I also think
Anyways.
it's the responsibility of one person. Not monogamous.
Keep stuff in your face, baby.
I know. Like, just find some air hole and screw some words through it.
Anyways, so that was my reason. And day two after it's up and down in terms of opinion. I need to curl it and see how I feel. But I need to rock this because I'm not going to spend $1,000 to get her symptoms again. I think that's insane.
Let me pick my wedgie. I'm crapping. It's almost over, I think.
Oh my God, I just never knew I could be, even though I knew I was capable of it, So it's pretty fulfilling. Like, it's weird that this eyelid's not.
It's over. All right. What did you think of our, watching that video again?
Oh my gosh. Well, it was very funny, first of all, at the end there, but to see you as a newbie and your reflections that you had and your fears and your the advice that you came up with. I mean, it was so early on. I think all the newbies have the same kind of fears, and maybe that is why your video has taken off.
It's true. And I think the honesty about the need for myself to push myself harder than normal. Like it wasn't easy for me to walk in there and have a threesome. I had to be pushed to a limit in my life where I decided for myself, do I want to live without something I really want because I'm too afraid to go for it? And the answer was, fuck no, it's time. And so everybody has to get to a place where they decide that it's time for them to live and see if they can stop holding themselves back. And so this video, I think, shows that. But if somebody were to fast forward from this video and to 2 years later, suddenly I'm like, so here's my hotel swinger party that I just threw, and like I'm having all these like orgies and like foursomes and fivesomes and things like that. It goes to show there's evolution in this lifestyle.
Totally.
And you can look at the people who are in it and think they're extreme, but it's just because people get comfortable and they evolve with what they're willing to do. So somebody might look at me and think I'm extreme, but I was also that girl in that video who was just as new as they were.
And I used to be that girl not too long ago, you know, the one who was there, you know, who had to take a deep breath and drop the towel like you did. And everyone goes in for the first time, you know, I mean, there's a first time for everyone. So just take a breath and do it. And like you said, I asked myself the same question you did. I said, what would you do if you weren't afraid? And I answered my
That's
own
a great question. What would you do if you weren't afraid?
And that applies to everything in life.
Yeah, it's
Just a
true.
reflection.
Well, thank you for doing the reaction video with me. It was a life-changing video. It was a life-changing night. The fact that I can look back and see that girl looking in the mirror and like giving herself that pep talk. If I could only go back now and say, if you don't do this, you will not be a YouTuber. You will not have a career in this. You will not have, you know, the life you've always dreamed of. That I didn't know the pressure was that severe, but it was.
Think of all the things that you've done since that video.
Yeah.
Like, we wouldn't be sitting here. 100% no.
And I wonder if I ever see that couple again, if they'll ever know how big of an impact they had on my life.
Well, if they do see it, I suggest that they write something in the comments so that we know.
It's true. And I'm sorry about telling people about the burned off clit, but frankly, you should probably ask before you like burns off someone's clit. So anyways, Ash and Prince Harry looking guy, if you guys see this, drop a comment, and I'd love to have a friendly drink and chat about this someday. So.
And hopefully Elle won't be clingy anymore.
Oh my God. I love you, Elle. All right. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.